Hey guys, so I'm planning on doing a video for Sage 2025, which is about a week away, and so I thought I need a placeholder video till then, but not something that's going to take forever to make. Then it hit me. Why not talk about the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog? An April Fool's game released on Steam for free back in 2023. Now, true story, this was actually the very first game I ever downloaded off of Steam. And yeah, I had a ton of fun with it. Though now would be a good time to mention that this is not a typical Sonic game. It is a point-and-click adventure game that's heavily story-based. Yeah, I know, about as far as you can get from Sonic gameplay, which is all about speed. Most of the time, anyway. In this game, you play as the new employee of the Mirage Express, a train that hosts murder mystery parties. Also, now would be a great time to mention that the train is indeed sentient and has arms that pop up all over in and out of the train itself to handle basic chores and tasks. Also, you get to name your character in the beginning of the game. I named it after myself, Troy, because why not? Anyway, as soon as you start the game, the conductor, who, by the way, is retiring today, gives you a tutorial, and you get to meet the main cast of characters, too. You got Sonic, Amy, Rouge, Blaze, Espio, Vector, Knuckles, and Shadow. To give the game some serious credit here, even if you've never played a Sonic game before, you will get a general idea of these characters' personalities just by talking to them in the tutorial. Anyway, the murder mystery game goes like this. Basically, everyone has a role to play and has a lore card explaining who they are and their backstory. Everyone takes their positions, and someone has to murder somebody. Not actually, just pretend to murder. And then the detective and the reporter gotta figure out who did it by gathering clues and stuff. When the game starts, things go crazy immediately. The train goes nuts, and somehow you, Tails, and Amy end up in what appears to be a broom closet. You wake up and find that there's no easy way out as the doorway is blocked. Tails suggests to Amy she uses her hammer to smash the door open, but she ends up kinda saying no and looking very embarrassed, and instead suggests they use spoons to dig their way out. Yes, she suggested using plastic spoons to dig their way out of a train. Well, you look around, find some clues, and find out the reason she didn't use her hammer was because she already tried to use it and broke the handle. Fortunately, Tails is a mechanical genius and fixes the hammer, and all three of you end up escaping the broom closet. And when you get outside, in the dining hall, you find Sonic, who appears to be playing dead, as looks like he was the murder victim. And with that, the game has begun. But your character notices something a little off. He doesn't have a pulse, and he's barely speaking. But your character's like, nah, he's fine. Probably, at least. Our next stop is the saloon car. And guess who's in here rocking a cowboy hat? I mean, who else would it be other than Knuckles the Echidna? We come in here and ask him what the hell he's been doing for the past hour, and he basically tells us to fuck off. So, naturally, we're gonna interrogate the hell out of him. And this here is where the main gameplay loop of the game kicks in. You enter a train car, gather clues, and piece together what went down. In this case, there's a busted arcade cabinet, lipstick on a discarded drink. Also, there is a wanted poster in here for Omochow, who apparently committed medical malpractice. Didn't know he was a doctor, but okay. With all clues in hand, we pieced together exactly what went down. Turns out, Knuckles and Vector were having drinks. Rouge popped up and was looking for something. At some point or another, Knuckles and Vector decided to play Super Monkey Ball, which neither of them knew how to play. However, Shadow shows up and teaches them exactly how to play Monkey Ball, which I find very funny that Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form, likes to play Super Monkey Ball, which is actually really damn funny that Shadow the Hedgehog plays Monkey Ball. Anyway, after they understand the basics of the game, Knuckles and Vector compete for the high score. When Knuckles loses, he punches the arcade cabinet in a fit of gamer rage to erase the evidence. Because if you lose and no one can prove it, did you really lose? Apparently Knuckles was trying to fix it before Amy came through here, and then we came in right after, but he didn't make much headway. Luckily, Tails fixes it super quickly. So yeah, Knuckles has a solid alibi. He's also got a solid ego. But hey, to each their own. Alright, next up we have the library car. Vector and Espio are hanging out here, by the way. Amy was also here and just got done interrogating them herself. She's doing a really good job cosplaying as a reporter. Or is it a journalist? Wait, aren't they the same thing? Reporters and journalists? I don't know. I don't care. And who cares? Not long after we get here, she runs off to the next car to interrogate someone else. So, now it's our turn to interrogate the heck out of these guys. And honestly, not that much is off here. Vector got bored and wandered into the saloon car. Espio, he was reading the entire time. Guess what he was reading? A train manual. Now, a question does arise as to how Espio missed Shadow when he walked through the train car. Espio's originally like, yeah, I was so deep in reading this train manual that I just didn't notice him. Yeah, no one's buying that. Like, who in their right mind picks up a train manual for fun and proceeds to read through the whole thing and get so invested into it that they miss someone walk right in front of them? Turns out there is actually a reason Espio did not see Shadow. Turns out it was because he was behind a bookshelf. It's not the most airtight alibi, but it makes logical sense. So, yeah, these two are definitely not guilty, and they did not murder Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, before we talk about the next train car, I want to bring up this little detail in the library. There's actually a book written by Dr. Eggman, which is an autobiography and a cookbook. Yeah, when Eggman's not planning world domination, apparently he likes to cook and likes to write books about himself, which is really funny, but also seems like it would be in character for Eggman, given his ego. Though I am curious as to why this book is on the train. Like, who in their right mind would buy a book written by Dr. Eggman and put it in a train library? Seems kind of odd to me. I mean, not even Tails wants to read this thing. And he's the smart one who likes books. Next up, we got the casino car, where Rouge and Blaze are hanging out. Here we find out the reason Rouge has been going between train cars so much is because she's looking for clues, as her and Blaze are planning a heist. Turns out there's a fake Chow egg on the train, and she wants to steal it. Yeah, it's not even a real Chow egg, it's just a fake one. And they want you and Tails to help them steal it. And this whole chapter of the game is absolutely hilarious. You brainstorm ways to get into the treasure room, and at one point, your character suggests pretending to be Blaze's spouse, and Blaze, being Blaze the cat, takes it 100% seriously. She straight up asks you if you've committed any war crimes. And no, she is not joking. She's legit analyzing you for marriage and espionage. All I can say is, buddy, that's a princess. You better get yourself in shape and be her husband. That's what I would do. After all is said and done, you end up finding the Chow egg. And everyone panics because as soon as you start messing with it, it starts ticking. And they think it's a bomb. And then there's a whole tense moment where everyone's trying to figure out what to do with it, how to solve the problem. And you have so many hilarious options here that it's just great. Like, let's burn the egg. Yeah, let's burn the explosive. I'm sure that's going to go down really well. Turns out, though, it was a false alarm. And the egg is not going to blow up. It was just opening. Yes, opening. Clicking like that. Turns out inside there's also a necklace. So, crisis averted. Rouge and Blaze unlock the next door for you, and you're free to move on. Or you can stick around and mess with the casino. Take a wild guess as to what I did. Yes, I screwed around in the casino because there's a bunch of optional stuff in here. Most of it's just for laughs, but still, it's pretty cool. For one, you can click on the wall panels, and one of them shows an ad for Twinkle Park, which hasn't been a thing since Sonic Adventure 1. Nice little callback. Also, you can play the slot machines, and Tails will absolutely roast you for it. Calling you insane, bringing up the sunken cost fallacy, and basically questioning your entire life philosophy. Honestly, it's pretty great. Also, it turns out Eggman apparently owns most of the casinos in this world. Tails thinks it's very weird, but apparently your character's like, yeah, I've never seen a single poker chip without Eggman's face on it. So yeah, Eggman's not just an evil scientist or an author, he's a casino tycoon now as well. Next up is the lounge car. Shadow's here, brooding as usual. Amy is already here interrogating him, and she claims she's got an inside scoop. And she won't say who gave it to her. And Shadow is not interested in talking to anybody. So yeah, the game is afoot. But before we get too deep into that, I want to point out two really cool Easter eggs in this train car. For one, if you look out the window, you can see Big the Cat fishing. Just vibing out there. Really cool Easter egg. And then there's a sign advertising Music Plant Zone, which I had no idea what that was, so I looked it up, and it turns out Music Plant Zone is a level from Sonic Advance 2. I never played any of the Sonic Advance games myself, but now I kinda want to. Now, some of the clues you find are pretty interesting. For one, you find a hidden passage in one of the closets that leads to the library car. That's gonna be important later. Also, you dig up some crumpled paper, a few keys, and other odds and ends that start to paint the picture of what happened here. As soon as we start interrogating Shadow, we immediately realize Amy suspects Shadow of murdering Sonic. Game murder, not actual murder. Because he's been locking doors and bouncing between train cars like a ninja with commitment issues. And Shadow's not even the ninja. That's Espio's job. But plot twist, Shadow wasn't sabotaging the game. He was trying to keep Amy away, so he could secretly buy her concert tickets for Hot Honey, because he forgot to get her a present for her birthday. Amy, when she realizes Shadow's getting her tickets for Hot Honey for her birthday, completely loses it and goes completely nuts and is super happy. And she wants Shadow to go with her to the concert. Shadow is, let's say, put off by this proposition. All I can say about this whole arrangement is the Shad Amy fans are gonna go nuts. Even after we get Shadow's name cleared though, we still got two big questions. One, who gave Amy the false info? And two, what's with the secret passage between the lounge and the library? Guess we'll find out soon, because there's only one train car left. The conductor's car. We finally reached the conductor's car, but the conductor is nowhere to be found. And the place looks like a wreck. I mean, one of the train's robot arms is snapped and on the ground, and one of the coffee mugs is spilled. And just by looking at this place, it looks like something went down here. We investigate for a bit and find the smoking gun, literally a blow dart gun, lying on the floor. And suddenly, things start to make some sense. So, everyone is called into the car. There's a brief moment of panic, because at first, Sonic doesn't show up, and then they go to get him, and find that he's unresponsive. So for a second, everyone thinks he's actually dead. But luckily, he's not. He was just hit with non-lethal poison that knocked him out cold. So what happened? Well, SBO is the murderer, technically. You see, per the train's instructions, which he thought were instructions from the train's staff, I mean, technically, he wasn't wrong. I mean, if the train's self-aware, does it count as staff? Who cares? Anyway, so SBO would take the secret passageway up to the lounge car, then you would go into the conductor's car, then the train used its robot arms to take Sonic all the way back to the dining car. And the biggest kicker is the fact that SBO thought it was part of the game. But no, it was part of the train's plan. Yes, the train's plan. As you see, the train is actually a badnik. And it's about this time that the train goes full-on villain mode. It's revealed that it's captured the conductor, it orchestrated this whole thing, and then it grabs everyone and locks them in separate cars. And tries to deliver Sonic and his friends straight to Eggman. You and Sonic get trapped in the dining car. And after poking around for a bit, Eggman shows up on the monitors. Eggman explains that he built this train as part of his public transportation phase, apparently. And it's self-aware and is supposed to hunt down Sonic and Eggman's enemies. However, during the process, apparently the train befriended the conductor, and when it found out the conductor was retiring, it snapped, like had a full-on emotional breakdown. So when the train saw Sonic get on it, it thought, hey, if I deliver Sonic to Eggman, Eggman will force the conductor to stay with me forever. Which is dark and kind of relatable in a weird way. I mean, honestly, I get it. You think someone's going to be in your life forever, and then they bail, and it hurts. It really feels like betrayal. Like, I had to deal with this pretty recently, actually. I mean, the person I built my studio with, the person I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, just bailed on me. Look, we'll talk more about it by the end of the video. But for now, what's important is your character is completely down on his luck, doesn't know what to do, and is about to give up. When Sonic basically tells him, hey buddy, you may have screwed up, and you may make some bad decisions here and there. But don't give up and always go forward. I am paraphrasing, but that's basically what Sonic said. And as Sonic says this, a new instrumental rendition of It Doesn't Matter plays in the background, which is really cool. Here, go ahead and take a listen. And you guys are probably wondering why I'm just now bringing up the soundtrack of this game. Well, that's because the soundtrack of this game is not that good. It's mostly just very forgettable background noise. There's only 2 songs in the entire game that stand out, this being one of them. We'll talk about the other one later. For now, let's go rescue our friends and take out this literal emotional train wreck. Now, the final level of the game uses the special stages. Yes, this game has special stages, but they're super simple and easy to understand. Basically, it's an auto runner, and you navigate Sonic through this obstacle course by moving back and forth and jumping. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, it is. It's actually very easy throughout most of the game. The final boss is literally the only hard one out of this entire game. So what happens next is pretty simple. Sonic rescues his friends, and they take on the train. You deliver the final blow and stop the train for good when SBO removes the flicky that's been powering it for the past 30 years. Which raises some serious questions. How is that bird still alive? Has Eggman been terrorizing the world for 3 decades? And how old are Sonic and his friends? Are they over 30 years old? If that's the case, Amy, have you been chasing Sonic for 30 years? All I can say is, sweetheart, that's dedication. Also, that other track I was mentioning was the only other memorable track in the entire game. It plays during the final boss, and is this one. There are a ton of better final boss themes in Sonic, but this one, it's okay, and it gets the job done. Here, take a listen. Anyway, with the train destroyed, everyone returns to the train station. Amy gets to have her birthday cake, and even your player gets to join in on, well, the after party, I should say. The conductor and his wife head to Spagonia, and the Flicky tags along, because why not? Oh, and meanwhile, Eggman realizes that train isn't coming, and decides to take a bubble bath. Also, Metal Sonic and Sage are wearing matching t-shirts, and this is just hilarious. I mean, just look at this image and tell me you don't die of laughter. And with that, I have completed my review of the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. And yeah, if you like story-based games, I would highly recommend this one. It's a ton of fun. Keep in mind, I didn't go over every story beat and every Easter egg in this entire game. I highly recommend playing it for yourself, because I guarantee you, you're going to see a lot of things that I did not see in this playthrough. And it's 100% free on Steam, so I highly recommend giving it a shot. Also, now for the unscripted section, where I explain my absence. Basically, I've been going through a lot. And I mean, a lot. My girlfriend broke up with me for reasons I won't get into here. But let me just say, I can honestly admit that it's both of us are at fault here. I screwed up and she screwed up both really bad. And she wasn't exactly willing to listen to reason and logic and work things out. It became pretty clear that she couldn't care any less about me. So I said, fuck it. Told her never to call me back again, and I got to work working on new videos and working on new games for the studio, as I have far better things to do than invest my time and energy and affection towards someone who has no intention of showing any back. So I'm just gonna keep going forward, not looking back, and building towards the future I want. for myself and possibly a future girlfriend. Yeah, I'm back to looking for another girlfriend. But how hard can it be, right? I own a damn game studio at 19 years old. How many 19-year-olds can say that? And don't worry, guys, I have plenty of goals. One of them being by New Year's, I plan on this channel having 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to support me and help me out, that's a good way to go. Also, my studio's first game, Nova Rebellion, is for sale on itch.io right now for $4.99. Links in the description. And if you're one of those amazing people that subscribed to the channel just now, thank you a lot. And I hope you stick around for the whole journey. Because trust me, Centurion Dragons Studios is going places. The possibilities are literally endless in the games we can make and the videos I can come up with. So thank you for joining me and sticking around and supporting me on this journey. Can't wait to see you in the next video.